has been described as the capacity and willingness to develop, organize, and manage a business venture along with many risks in order to make profit. Nobody talks about entrepreneurship as a survivor, but that's exactly what it is and what nurture creative thinking. We keep hearing about entrepreneurship everywhere, but the truth is, do people actually understand what entrepreneurship is? And is entrepreneurship breaking grounds in Nigeria? I'm Zuwaira Hamza. Welcome to another exciting episode of Matter Africa on Television Nigeria. And with me on today's episode is Mrs. Chika Ofo. Nice to have you here, ma'am. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Chika Ofo, and I'm a serial entrepreneur, a Nigerian woman, married with 3 children to a wonderful man called Mr. Nnamdi Ofo. I also have an NGO called Vaccine Network for Disease Control. We work with women in communities, build the capacities of women to make sure that they become entrepreneurs themselves and then support in the family. Like the saying goes, empower a woman and a family stands. So that's what we do.
Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, she'll be telling us lots more. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Matter Africa on Television Nigeria. My guest is still much available. You're welcome, ma'am. What's your opinion on the development of entrepreneurship in Nigeria?
Recession has made it important. It has become a very serious issue. Recession in itself means that a lot of companies who would have employed a certain number of people can no longer do so. A lot of people now have no jobs, and because they have no job, it has become critical. Then you take charge of your own destiny. And then how do you do that? If you know that what you love is hairdressing, like me now, I love tourism. I like to tour, I like to go around touring. And right now, I've already registered a company to start a tourism business because it's what I love to do. I love it. I love to talk. So, I have an NGO to help the poor. I love a philanthropic kind of life, to help the poor. I like working with women. I like development of women, to make sure that these women become entrepreneurs themselves and are able to support their communities. And you know, the funny thing is that without being a strong woman, being an entrepreneur, a woman of substance, you can't even enter leadership. Now we're talking about women being in leadership, being in state House of Assembly, being in community leadership, being in National Assembly. Can you be talking of women doing that if you don't have what they're doing? So it has become critical that women have to move to the next level.
When you say moving to the next level, don't you think most women need financial help?
That is the excuse that lazy people give. We need money for everything. I want to be an entrepreneur, I need money. And when they're talking of money, they're not talking of 10,000, 20,000. My brother did not give me 200,000. That's why I could not do the business. My sister did not help me. I did not know somebody. My dear, you don't need money to make money. You need to understand what you want to do first. You can grow your money. Let me give you an example. If, for instance, you want to own your own NGO and you don't have money to register your NGO, you don't have money, you don't have office space, you don't have all those things, what will you do first? Go and volunteer with an organization that does what you feel like doing. You can go and volunteer with Vaccine Network. If you want to do things around women, you volunteer with us. It means that there's nobody that you come and volunteer with and you tell, you don't need to pay me, that will not allow you to work. By the time you start to work there, when people see how important your work is, they start to give you money for transport. Before you know it, you start to earn 15,000. Before you know it, you start to earn 30,000. Something will happen, and they'll say, okay, they need a staff to take charge of a particular area. Because you are available, you are efficient, you are effective, they'll put you there. Have you said that? Are you see what I'm saying? Before you know it, you collaborate, you are humble. Before you can say Jack Robinson, that money that appears to be impossible to get will become possible to get. But that's not what people want. People want to sit down, and then you call them, and then you give them money. Who does that? You're a dreamer. You will remain poor. You get what I'm saying? I started like that. I volunteered for many years. They sent me everywhere, did everything. I worked briefly. Not briefly. I would say I worked in aviation industry. I worked in Airtel. I still decided that I wanted to be my own entrepreneur. I wanted to contribute something to society. And what I wanted to contribute was not in a workspace. So I came out. I started volunteering in organizations. And by so doing, I actually discovered what I wanted to do. And because of what I wanted to do and I enjoyed it, I did not panic. I met a lot of hitches along the way. A lot. But because it was what I enjoyed, it didn't affect me. Until one day, somebody said, we want to do journalistic advocacy. We want to inform journalists about pneumonia. And we need an NGO to do it. And I know that you have been working around, When you're going to be working with a media person, the money will be paid to the media people, but you will do the running around because you have been doing it since. I didn't say, they should come and pay the money into my account. I didn't say so. I was grateful that they even noticed me. And that was my first event. And we did the event. The money was not paid to me in any form or way. It was paid to the journalists. But the journalist, by the time we finished the work, there was a particular portion of the money that was given to the organization. 30% was supposed to go for administration and all that. After that administration, I got a small amount. I was grateful. With that small amount, I was able to gather money, call my husband, join the money, and register my NGO.
There are so many federal government entrepreneurial initiative programs which I don't want to mention. Do you think such programs have been able to change the lives of the women, especially those in the grassroots?
The challenge we have, the federal government has laudable projects that they want, because they really do want to help. I heard that there's one they gave market women 10,000. The challenge with such things is, do you teach the women how to manage the money? That's the problem. The problem is not giving somebody money. The problem is for that person to understand how to manage that money. And understand that if they give you 20,000 naira, it's a married woman, she's in the community. Her children will go to school, it's from that money. Hospital is from that money. Savings is from that money. Putting back into the business immediately is from that money. So the first thing is, the women have to be taught on how to save, how to remove a little amount and keep aside as savings. And no amount is too small. And then when you're saving, you don't put the kind of money that you want to save that by the time you remove it, you can't even cope. If you have 20,000, you can say, what I want to save is 200 naira a week or 300 naira. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Can you imagine if somebody is saving that 300 naira every week for 2 or 3 years? It becomes a lot of money. Then you also have to keep a small amount aside for hospital. You have to keep it aside. Even if it's 100 naira. To buy Panadol, my child has malaria, my child this, that. All those kind of things. Then you have to form a cooperative, a savings group, a group of women like yourself who have different businesses. All of you come together and form a savings group. And you will keep contributing that to 200. There's one, Dao. They call it Dao. Today this person packs, tomorrow that person packs. I'm selling loi, you are selling fish. Because we are part of the cooperative, my loi is 100 naira for one. But because you're part of my cooperative, I will sell it to you for 80 naira. You see it, you are selling fish, 500 naira for one set. But because you're part of the cooperative, you sell it for me for 450. Are you seeing what I'm talking about? And then before you know it, like that, you become a big businesswoman with a group of strong women who have a voice. And then tomorrow you will not come and say, you know what, the government is giving 500,000 to cooperatives. You have formed a cooperative. You will not go there as a group. Are you seeing it? With your protocol, explain to them, we have been together for 2 years, this is what we have been doing, we have saved, this is how we are doing it. And then when you marshal out your competencies.
Recently, Nigerian women were said to be the highest number of entrepreneurs in the world. This obviously have not resulted in financial independence. What exactly is the challenge?
The challenge is what I've just told you. How to manage the money.
So what do you think can actually resolve such?
The government has to, and other NGOs like us, women should support women. You understand? I have a skill, and the skill is, I know how to teach women on how to manage money. I should be able to say, okay, you know what? Let me go to a community or form a group and they will start to teach people how to manage money. And then you monitor them, you mentor them. Mentoring cannot be overemphasized. I have a successful business. I'm selling akara. I have 4 branches. And I see the woman selling akara outside. She's not making a headway. I should mentor her. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. And then she starts to look up to me. And through mentoring, she becomes successful. And then you form a team. And you tell her, as you have become successful, you must pick another woman who you will teach also, who will become successful. And you teach another woman. And like that, and like that, and like that. Before you know it, all you will see in entrepreneurship will be success stories. The challenge we have is not that Nigerians don't have the money to give to people, or people do not have money to support people. It's that there's no strategy on how to make their business sustainable. So the important thing for me is that strategy. That's one. Secondly, believe in yourself. That's 2. Thirdly, let your husband know that your money is helping the family. The challenge we have, sorry to say, a lot of women, once they become entrepreneurs and start to contribute to the house, no more respect to. The husband will say, do this, I beg. I dey go my business. And we're Nigerians. Next day the man will say, you see that your business, you will not go today. Anything that wants to happen, let it happen. You know, for me, my own idea of emancipation is that you must stoop to conquer. If you have a boss and you're working in an organization and you have a boss who is going to promote you and increase your salary, you will not be rude to that boss. Will you be rude to that boss? Because you know that your financial freedom is tied to that person. In the same vein, if you know that you're a family, you're part of a family unit, the fact that you're bringing money, your husband is bringing money, both of you together should be humble towards each other. And your relevance should not be what will now make you feel as if your husband is under you. So all these things have to be put together. It's not a one size fits all. I get what I'm saying? Not a one size fits all. But however, a woman must understand that she's a businesswoman. My business will support the family and change the narrative for my family. But I should not become too pompous, too proud, to the point that people even hate your business. Have you not seen it before? I've seen it severally. Where when a woman becomes a businesswoman, everybody runs to hide. I know a man who eventually died from a broken heart. Because by the time the wife got into business, he now lost his job. She left him. Before we know what happened, the man just died.
We're going to go on a quick break. Please go anywhere. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Matter Africa on Television Nigeria. Today we're talking about entrepreneurship, and my guest is Mrs. Chika Offor. Some have argued that until we start leveraging on technology as entrepreneur, we might not maximize profit. In what way will technology be helpful to small and medium scale entrepreneurs?
Technology is very critical because when people say technology, people get worried. They say technology, everybody's thinking internet, everybody's thinking computer. No. Technology, a phone is technology. Technology is a phone. Technology is when you use the bank. For instance, if you form a cooperative, a group of women that sell different kinds of things, decide to form a cooperative and say, okay, they'll be contributing 1,000 naira every week. And at the end of the week, maybe there are 50 of them. Every week they open a joint account and then you have certain signatories and every week they take that 50,000 and put it in the bank. That's technology. Technology is that you're selling kunu, and you have certain customers who are living in certain places, and then you call them on the phone and say, excuse me, I want to be supplying you kunu. How many times do you need kunu in a week? And the person says, I need kunu once a week. And you call the customer, I have kunu now, my kunu is fresh, yellow corn, this corn, that. And the person says, okay, bring kunu to my house. You have used technology. You get what I'm saying? Technology, these are all the things. Because when people say technology, people start to get worried. Hey, they're monitoring and evaluation. No, technology is very good for business. There's one young lady now that I know that what she does is she grinds beans and she dries it, and then when she blends in such a way and she packages it. As she packages it, she sells it to people. People used to do akara, and she does delivery. But she calls you, sends you WhatsApp message, a fresh beans, kiniko beans, for correct akara. I have put ginger in this one. I have mixed with meat. I have mixed with that. To make your pick. If you buy up to a certain amount, I will do delivery. She has used technology to send information. You join a particular WhatsApp group where people talk about their different businesses and how you can reach and how they can reach you. You have used technology. 90% of women in communities have phone, even if it's 3310. So they can use their phone to improve their business. So technology cannot be overemphasized. It's very important.
Apart from giving these women money, are they being mentored by these organizations?
That's what I'm saying. So right now we have women in my community. We have about 600 to 700 women entrepreneurs that we supported financially, 10,000 naira. So we're monitoring them. We didn't even just give them 10,000 naira. We first of all came and investigated your business. What are you doing? I'm selling kunu. Okay. What do you want to do? Usually I buy the corn from a certain place. I buy corn, retail corn for 1,000 naira and I use it to do kunu. But if you give me 10,000 naira, I will go to the farm and buy a bag of corn and it will be much cheaper for me. I cannot become a wholesaler and other retailers will be coming to buy from me. I get what I'm saying? So if such a person says that, that the person has a business idea and the person is asking for what? 10,000. So you give the person the 10,000. Then when you notice, somebody else says, I'm selling loyi loyi. Loyi loyi is apple. Yes, I'm selling apple. I need 10,000 naira. What do you want to do 10,000 naira? I just want to use it. Will you give the person 10,000 naira? No. So you have to first of all interview them, check their businesses, find out of this loyi loyi you're selling, how much are you selling loyi loyi? 100 naira. How much did you use to buy the apple, the cassava? The person will tell you, I used 10,000 naira to buy the cassava. I used 10,000 naira to buy the cassava. After buying the cassava, what did you use to mold it and do everything? So what's your profit? The person says, okay, for 10,000 naira, I make 2,000 naira profit. How much do you save? You say, I save, I don't save. That is when you now come in. You tell the person, you must save. Even if it's 200 naira. How much do you set aside for your children's school? How much do you set aside for hospital? Are you seeing what I'm saying? It occurs to you, oh, it's true. I'm supposed to, I don't have enough money, I can't even set aside anything. So no, you're setting aside 200 naira. Only. Are you guys what I'm saying? Only 200 naira. That's it. By the time you teach the person starts to say, wow. Okay, December is when I have my highest sales. Let me start saving 300. Let me start saving 500. At the end of December, times 12, that is times 4. That is 500 times 2,000. 2,000 times 12, 24,000. 24,000, I buy more. Because a lot of people will be coming to the village, and that period I will sell more apple. You teach the person how to run the business. Let me tell you, if we do that, and then we monitor, we mentor them, we will succeed. You fail, you start, you learn the lesson for each failure. And then you get better. And then another thing again, when you sell something, don't go and buy human hair. You did a business, you made 100,000 naira profits. You're supposed to plug it back into the business. You use the 100,000 to go and buy human hair, and then you see your business float. It will flop. You're a businesswoman, so you have to think like a businesswoman. There's no quick way of making money. It's not MMM. It's no quick way. It's a strategy, and it's step by step by step. If you live for the next 80 years and you're doing step by step, you can only continue to improve and improve. You fail, you fall, you stand up again. And guess what? When you fall or you fail, it's a temporary failure.
Okay, on a lighter note, how do you manage the home front and the business?
Very easily. Very, very easily. I close by 5.
Okay.
That's one. And then when I'm in the office and I work. When I'm at home, I don't take work home. I don't do office work in the house. I focus on my family. I give my husband attention, 100%. I give my children 100% attention. When I come to the office, I give my office 100% attention. That's how I work. And then let me tell you, once you're able to divide and separate them, family, business, you will do fine.
On a final note, as an entrepreneur, can you give a quick advice to those entrepreneurs who are just starting?
Yeah, very gladly. If you're just starting, don't give up, be confident. If you fail, it's called temporary failure. Everybody has failed. Even our own president contested how many times before he became president? Today he's president. Don't give up. And whatever idea that you have, write them down. Because when you don't write it down, you forget. Once you write it down, have a mentor. A mentor that you like. If you want to be a footballer, have a mentor that plays football, that can advise you right. You can't say you want to be a mentor and you want to play football. You go and get a mentor that's a hairdresser. They don't meet. They don't match. And don't be ashamed to fail. There's no shame in it. Everybody fails. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, have a mentor. Don't give up. Start. Volunteer. And everything will work out well in the end.
Thank you very much, my favorite. And that's all we have on today's episode of Matter Africa. See you same time, same station. I'm Zoya Hamza. Bye for now.